Well, Mike, I don't know, you were, I think you might have been 9, so I don't know if you remember the last Battle of Alberta or
Nope.
But can you just talk about maybe, you've been in the province now, just divisional rivalry games like this, and just how exciting as the last round was, this one just seems to be more amped up, as much for the fans, probably same as the players?
Honestly, I think you guys hype it up more than the players do. And I think obviously being this close as far as logistics-wise makes it a little bit more interesting, but I think to us, we're not getting caught up in the hype, and it's just another series for us.
Okay, so looking at your perspective from the goal, what did you like best about defensive play, especially in the wins, and what do you have to ensure that you continue to do to win the next series?
Yeah, obviously Calgary's, they were the best team in our division this year, so a lot of firepower. They play connected, and we're going to have to bring our A game to beat them in 4 games. So not in 4 games, but for 4 games. So I like the way we finished the series against LA. I thought we played one of our best games of the series in Game 7, and hopefully we can carry that momentum into Game 1 in the second round.
Kris, just over here. Does it mean anything special to you to play Calgary, or is it just another team or another series going into this one?
Yeah, I think it's just the opportunity to play in the second round. I thought, like Smitty said, the last 2 games we showed what our team can do and the way we need to play, and we're looking forward to doing that in the next series.
Does the regular season series against them mean anything, or is this a whole new playoff for you, Kris? Just a whole new playoff, and nothing that happened in the regular season matters going into this one? I
don't think so. I think the regular season's, it's to get into the playoffs, and once you get in, anything can happen. So, we're a prepared team, we're ready, and we're excited for this opportunity.
Kris, back in the Caroline area, can you tell me which team maybe has more support, or is it pretty split? Do you know? Yeah,
usually it's pretty split in that area. Yeah.
And are some people swayed by which team you have been on in recent throughout your career, or are they pretty loyal?
No, they're pretty loyal.
So what have you heard from family and friends since last night, or even the possibility of it once you guys advanced?
To be honest, this time of the year, pretty focused, so I don't get too much text from family and friends, kind of the way I am, so.
Mike, you played in both towns. Just as a guy that's been around the league a long time, what's the comparison? What's the difference between walking around Calgary as a Flame and walking around Edmonton as an Oiler? Is there a difference?
I'm not going to go there. I honestly enjoyed playing in both cities. Obviously, I've enjoyed my time in Edmonton and being a part of the community here and seeing the support we're getting, as this goes on. Calgary had some great times too. Some great friends on the team. Met some great people outside of hockey there that I'm still friends with. So I think anywhere you play, you get, especially with kids in school and hockey and stuff like that, you gain friendships away from hockey, but also, going to the rink every day with the same guys, you gain friendships too. So I think playing as long as I have, and Russ too, you have friends on a lot of teams in the league now. And, but when it comes down to it, you're trying to win a series. And whether it's Calgary, whoever it is, it's the job's the same. We're trying to go out there and compete for the ultimate prize. And if we have to get through Calgary to do that, then that's the goal, and that's all that's on our mind.
So in the history of this rivalry, it's always good hockey. It's going to be good hockey again. We know that. 2 good teams, for sure. But there's always been lots of antics. There's lots of stuff going on, People are maybe stepping out of character, and there's a lot of after whistle. Or in the past, of course, we'll see what happens this time. Maybe a goalie fight. What does that? Do you want that stuff? Do you guys want to play a quiet series, or do you want some of that antics to affect the series?
You want to stay disciplined and not be in the box the whole series. I think Calgary's, like I said, they have a good power play. They have guys that can burn you. So I think it's about staying composed and staying in the moment and not letting the the emotions of all the hype get in the way of playing how we're capable of playing and how we want to play to be most successful. So the extracurriculars, we're not really hopefully going to get caught up in it too much. Obviously, there's going to be it's an emotional game, and stuff happens. You want to stick together as a group, but that's not in the forefront of our minds. I can tell you that much right now.
Mike, we see the way Connor leads on the ice with his play and setting that example and such. But can you give us a sense? Have you seen a bit of an evolution in him behind the scenes too, just having an impact on guys and pulling guys along, and just his leadership off the ice as well?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a determined player. You can tell he's been through some tough times here in the playoffs, and it hasn't gone the way obviously the team has wanted to in the past few years here, and he feels an obligation to lead by example, and he's really shown his true character really came out, and I felt in the first round here, and everyone's seen it, how determined he was to go out there and put the team on his back and do what really good captains do, and that was, like we talked about before, put his money where his mouth is, and he's gone out there and done that, and guys have followed his lead, and I'm sure he'll continue to do that.
You have a good group of leaders in there, but where Connor's concerned specifically, how vocal is he behind the scenes in moments where it's required?
Yeah, I mean, Connor's gotten a lot more vocal in the past few years that I've been here. I think he's probably learned from experiences in the past, and hopefully other guys have rubbed off on him a little bit, and in a good way. And but he's really, he's a determined player. You can see it in his face, you can see it in his eyes, you can see the way he's competing on the ice. And like I said, that's a true leader. That's how you want any captain to be, is just a player that goes out there and shows it first, and guys just follow his lead.
Mike, when you've played with a team and you've played with Tkachuk and Goodrow and stuff, does a goalie have any sort of advantage when you play again with guys for as many years as you played in Calgary?
I mean, it can't hurt, but like we talked about, you can get caught up in it too much too, a little bit. So I think it's just about taking it one game at a time, breaking it down into small segments, and not really worried about who's on the other side, and kind of worried about what your job is at hand. So obviously the experiences of playing with them and against them so much can help in tendencies, but there's good players on any team, and you got to be aware when they're on the ice.
And did you watch the game last night, Calgary-Dallas?
I actually fell asleep around 9 o'clock last night, so I missed a bunch of it, but woke up in time for overtime. So, yeah, crazy game. Obviously, when it goes to 7, it's that close. The room for error is very small. So,
thank you.
Kris, when you look at Calgary now, their top line is one of the rare ones that's been together all year long. And then you have like the Lucic line. They have very different styles in how they attack you. So as a defenseman, from shift to shift, like how aware do you have to be when you know like the Lucic line's probably going to come at you physically, where Gaudreau and Tkachuk and Lindholm, they're more of a puck possession line. Does that change from shift to shift for how you guys defend?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you gotta take a look at who you're playing against. Like you said, they played a little bit different. They're a physical team. They're going to bring that throughout all 4 lines. So you got to be aware of that. But at the same time, there are guys that are more of shooters, guys that are more of passers. So you got to be, aware of that and notice who you're out with. And when you are out there, you're trying to do a job.
And Mike, the last time you went on a run in Arizona, your boys were a lot younger, and I think some of them might not have even been here. How exciting is it for, as a dad, Mike Smith, for a second, when you come home, are like the boys that amped up? Other buddies, of course, are probably Oilers fans in Edmonton. Do you feel that energy more now than maybe you did, that last time in Arizona? Yeah,
they were pretty small. I think I only had 2 at the time, and they were pretty little. So it's definitely exciting. For my family, for the kids to kind of understand where everything's at now and be at the games and be able to come in the room after and celebrate and be a part of the whole experience. It's definitely a special time to play in the playoffs and to get through the first round and keep going here. So, definitely a different different time this time around, but something that's special, and I'm sure they'll remember for a long time also.
Now, are you ever involved in like the Smith mini stick battles at home, or ref those?
I try to stay off my knees as much as I can. I'm on them too much at work, but no, I get involved, but they're pretty crazy battles down the basement for sure.
Mike, just back here, I just wonder about the guy sitting beside you, and he didn't play in every game in the series, but come crunch time, he was there, and the coaches trusted him. What does Kris Russell mean to this team?
I mean, he's a consummate pro. He just he never complains when he's out of the lineup. When he's in the lineup, he just goes about his business and does his thing and eats biscuits. And he's obviously been around the game a long time, and he's just a competitor. And you can't help but want to play for a guy like that. And he just does everything to the best of his capabilities, and you know what you're going to get when he's on the ice. So he's a special player, and obviously one that has done a lot for this group, both on and off the ice, and he'll obviously continue to do that for us.
Mike, I know that the best headspace is to treat this like just another series, not get too wound up on things, but it's also something that hasn't happened in 30 years, and it's going to shut down the province. What's your sense of what it means to the two communities, this series?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's, like I said, the hype is real life. There's a lot of passionate fans in Alberta, and whether for the Flames or for the Oilers, but like we said, as players, we're trying not to get consumed by that. There's a lot of extra noise, obviously, but there's a focus with this group that we have a job to do, and it didn't really matter who we were going to play against. It was just we want to keep playing how we're capable of playing. If we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance to win. But obviously, logistics-wise, it's nice not having to get on an airplane and fly halfway across the country and deal with that. But it's an exciting time, obviously, for this province, and I'm sure it'll be a fun show.
The way you guys finished off Game 7, how do you feel, like how important was that? How better equipped are you guys going into this series, having that experience, the way you guys played?
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams got it. I think just the confidence that you get, put your backs up against the wall. We were in Game 6 going into an opponent building and came out with a big victory, and then coming back home, obviously anything can happen into Game 7. We showed that we could bring our best stuff when it mattered the most, and it's a confidence builder for sure for our group.